Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sports live watch along of the UEFA Europa League between Arsenal and Olympiacos, coming from the Emirates Stadium tonight. Now, of course, if you missed the first leg, it was a great away performance from Arsenal. 3-1 they won at Olympiacos last week, so they've got 3 away goals, which means Olympiacos have the uphill task to score at least 3 goals to at least be back in this tie, and this is just to level the tie. So Arsenal, that first leg performance is exactly what Mikel Arteta had wished for. So really, this could be you could say a tie that's done and dusted when you compare it to Man United and AC Milan, which is 1-1 after their first leg. So I mean, who knows if Olympiacos could get an early goal, we'll see what happens. But of course, this is a two-legged tie. You've got to perform in both and get the goals when it matters. So the players are just out on the pitch. Olympiacos are playing in a full blue kit tonight. Of course, they're known for their red and white stripes home shirt, but they're not playing in those colours because, of course, Arsenal will be playing in red and white. And, of course, as expected during a COVID pandemic, the Emirates Stadium is empty. So both teams are lining out with the cheesy Europa League background song, as always. And let's actually have a look at the lineups then. So with Arsenal, you've got Leno in goal, which does surprise me. I would have thought maybe Arsenal would let one of their other goalkeepers go on for the game like this, but Arteta, of course, doesn't want to make any risks, maybe. David Luiz and Gabriel in defence, with Tierney as left back and Bellerin as right back. 2 in midfield of Elneny and Xhaka. Then 3 in front of them from left to right. It's Pepe, Ceballos and Rowe. And up front, of course, the main centre forward for Arsenal. And what a player he's obviously been for Arsenal since that move to Dortmund, and that is Aubameyang. Let's look at Olympiacos. Looks to be a 3-4-3 formation. And it's Sarr in goal. Papastathopoulos, I think it is. Obviously Greek, but I can't pronounce that name very well. He's in defence for Bar, not Denver Bar. He normally plays up front anyway, and he plays for a completely different team. And Holbass in defence. In midfield, there's a midfield of 4, and that's Antrotsos, M. Villa, Camara, Ribishiuk, I'm terrible, I do apologise, Mesouras, Al-Rahabi and Fortunas up front, the front 3 for Olympiacos tonight. And there's your substitutes there. Of course, plenty more on offer for Arsenal. Martin Odegaard actually on the bench, which I thought he might have started. So's Thomas Partey and Callan Chambers. So's Lacazette. So plenty of options for Arteta if he needs it, but I'm not expecting Arsenal to have to worry too much tonight. Some Arsenal fans who I do know say, look, it's Arsenal. So I can understand that, especially when you look at the last few years, but I can't see them making any mistakes tonight. Not to concede 3 goals, but we'll see. So we're just getting ready for Aubameyang to start the game. Of course, Socrates is playing for Olympiacos tonight. He played for Arsenal up until last season, and he was part of the Arsenal team that lost to Olympiacos in the Europa League last season. But can Olympiacos do it again at the Emirates in that late finish that was in extra time? And it'll be Olympiacos that will kick off the game. They're going to be attacking from right to left, Arsenal from left to right. And here we go. So the first half underway. We've got some messages already, so do get in touch in the live chat page about this game or any other game. We've got Random saying hi. and is asking, I think, well actually sorry, not asking, he's coming up with a prediction saying, I think 2-0 for Arsenal, Aubameyang with both goals. Of course he is starting. Jamie Burgoyne, of course, good old Burgoyne. Got to get you on a watch along, Mr. Burgoyne. He nearly was going to join us tonight for this one, but he said he had some cable problems. He says big Jamie Davis, or he's saying James Davis, but he knows that that's wrong. Come on, man. It is in my middle name actually, so maybe you're right. Pedro Martins, the Olympiacos coach, watching on. Imagine if Olympiacos did get an early goal, though. It would send some nerves towards Arsenal and their fans, but 3 away goals, that's a big task. Here come Arsenal, though. It's lost already. Aubameyang with a sloppy pass. Burgoyne said he got called into work. Good excuse. To be honest, though, mate, I don't blame you. It's more money, isn't it? Now you're probably wondering, there is a Miranda name next to me. So Miranda is an Arsenal fan and she'll be joining us at around half time. She's on her way back from work. So, well, actually it was quite a funny story. I didn't know the game kicked off until this morning, as in knowing that it was an early kickoff. I thought it was an 8 o'clock kickoff, and United AC Milan was starting at 5 to 6. So luckily I saw that, and Miranda wasn't aware either. So when I told her, we both found out that it was going to be a bit awkward. But Miranda, with her commitment and passion for Arsenal, she will make sure that she joins us later on in the game. Olympiacos goalkeeper's just booting it out into the midfield area at the moment. So yeah, do get in touch in the live chat page. Show us your predictions. I've just had one of those Nature Valley bars, which I don't really have normally, but it said protein on. I haven't actually had any meals yet today, so I just thought, why not? And it's just nuts all over my mouth. Big pun. Of course, do subscribe to Let's Talk Sport if you haven't already. We'd love to get to 430. We're at 424 subscribers at the moment. Here come Arsenal, it's into the box, but it's straight to the hands of the Olympiacos goalkeeper. I think there's been a collision there between Socrates and, I'm not sure who the Arsenal player is. I can't see his number or actually recognise the back of his head. Oh, it's Smith Rowe. He looked like he took a shot. I think it actually hit Socrates in the genitals, and then it hit the genitals of Socrates, and then it bounced and hit the head of Smith Rowe quite nastily as well. Whoops. So injury for both. How to fail in 2 seconds is something for you right there. So the game has been paused as we're about to reach 5 minutes here, all because of a accident. Luke Tanner asking a question for Miranda. We'll ask her when she comes on. He's asking thoughts on Arsenal's season so far. Are you Arteta in or Arteta out? I mean, tell you what, if you want my views, even though I'm not an Arsenal fan, I think Arteta's done a good job in the short time he's been there. But I find it, as a United fan, it annoys me that Solskjaer's getting all this pressure, yet you don't hear anything about Arteta, where before Christmas he was losing games week in, week out. Worse form than what Liverpool were with Klopp, with losing those 6 home games in a row, which they're still on that run at home in the Premier League, which is pretty poor. Socrates and Smith Rowe then going off the pitch. I would say Smith Rowe and Socrates are ex-teammates, but I don't think Smith Rowe was even in the senior squad this time last year. Do tell me if I'm wrong. So 3-1 on aggregate. I think Arteta's done a good job. I think if it wasn't for the FA Cup win, would he have been gone by now? I don't think it would have been fair, because he's actually only been in the job for a while. Okay, it's now been over a year and about 3 months, but 3 months was because of lockdown. The first lockdown, so there was no football, so really he's only had a year. And within months of getting the Arsenal job, he won the FA Cup. And people could go on and say, oh, it's just the FA Cup, but he still won a trophy. Look at people like Brendan Rodgers and Solskjaer, who have been in England for a bit now, and they haven't won a trophy yet. Not in the top flight, anyway. Luke Tanner has just confirmed that Smith Rowe was out on loan at Huddersfield Town during the second half of last season. Cheers, Luke. Luke, when are we getting you back on for a watch-along? I know we had it on Monday with you doing the Wolves-Liverpool game, but I wasn't there. I missed out. Are you doing Rangers and Celtic this weekend with Joe? He could do us some company on that. Join him for that. Here come Olympiacos. Bellerin should clear it. He does so. Of course, there's other games going on tonight. Let's have a look at the latest scores. There's, of course, Dynamo Zagreb up against Tottenham Hotspur, which for them, they're 2-0 down after that first leg away from home, which I always think if you're not going to win, at least get an away goal, because who knows, that could really win the game on the night if there was some momentum and some goals in you in that second leg. Molde up against Granada. Molde, Solskjaer's old team back in Norway. He was a manager there before he joined Man United. They're 2-0 down from the first leg, but it's goalless after 8 minutes there. And Shakhtar Donetsk versus Roma. Roma comfortably winning that one from the first leg, 3-0. I think Roma could be one of the dark horses for the Europa League this season. I haven't watched much of Roma in the last few years, but let's not forget, this was a team that was very, very close from reaching the Champions League semi-finals. No, the final. Was it the final? Sorry, no, it was to get to this. No. Was it to get to the semi-finals? Yeah, I'm sure it was. do tell me if I'm wrong. I know Luke will know, but they were so close to actually getting Liverpool knocked out from late drama in that game. But luckily for Liverpool, they didn't. They had enough goals after the aggregate score to go through, but it was very close at the end. But that was only 2-3 years ago. So Roma have been a good side over the last few years. Again, as I say, I've not really watched them, but I do think they're one of the dark horses for the Europa League this season. Luke says, "Send me location." Send me location. What do you mean? Your Celtic Rangers game, or can you do it? Just confirm yes or no. Because Joe Stanley's waiting for you on Sunday. Jamie Burgoyne says, "Jamie, we obviously all know your exploits in the world of competitive Morris dancing." Yes, we do. There's a statue built in Malpas. If you actually came round, Burgoyne, and I could show you, that statue, you're more than welcome. But I know you keep saying no. He says, "But when is your Morris dancing musical version of Inception hitting Malpas Village Hall? I wrote 3 songs as all." Well, you see, I'm wondering if it should be based about a dream. I think it should be based about Castaway, where you have another Tom Hanks, but this time it's Tim Allen, his co-star from Toy Story, who was Buzz Lightyear. And I'm thinking Tim Allen is stuck on the Castaway Island, but he needs to learn how to be a professional Morris dancer to get himself off the island and back home. Now, the reason why he needs to Morris dance is because not many people know this, but if you can Morris dance in the best way, you can float on water. And you may think I'm lying about this, but let's just say I might know a few things, or maybe I am lying, I don't know. It's up to you. But he has to Morris dance across the ocean until he finds another land, or a plane, or a boat to find him. Does he take Wilson with him? I'm afraid not, because Wilson sadly did. We assumed is dead from that film. So yeah. Of course, Rangers are playing tonight. They play Slavia Prague at 8 o'clock. Forgot to switch my screen back to the main page. There we go. Luke Tanner says it's a kebab quote from the UFC. Of course, he's retired, but I mean, I don't know much about UFC, Luke, but something tells me he is someone who is retired for good. I mean, sometimes we expect them to come back just because someone will challenge them and make them go for the fight again. But oh, thank you very much. Look at this. Thank you very much. Look at this. You never need to leave the room anymore. That was my mum. Hello, mum. Luke Tanner saying it's a kebab quote from the UFC. I'll be available for the weekend game. Jamie, how far do you think Rangers will go in the Europa League? I mean, if they go through tonight, what an achievement, because Rangers have been, Scottish football in Europe, Europa League or Champions League, has been pretty dreadful. My memory's not the best at the history of it over the last 10 years, but every time you'd wake up the morning after, you'd see the news headlines of just underachieving and not getting out of the group stages at least. So I think for me, as long as Rangers go through tonight, it's fantastic. I think after that, I'm sure for Steven Gerrard, he will say to the team, why can't we challenge for the Europa League? And I don't see why not. They've won the league incredibly convincingly. They've won it by a milestone. And why not? They've won the league now, so they can just focus on the Europa League. I don't think they'll care how much of a points difference they are from Celtic. They've got the trophy now. That's all that matters. So why not? I don't think they will. I think sadly experience will get to them, and I think they might get tired because of how well they've been playing in the league this season, how much energy they've put out on that pitch. But we'll see. They should beat Prague tonight though, and I think it's making Leicester look a little silly that they didn't win that. We'll see though, because Rangers are leading the tie. Yeah, but Burgoyne, Tom Hanks, I never said Tom Hanks was in Inception. I'm just using it as an example. Tim Allen was in Inception. Some people don't know that. He was one of the stormtroopers I know my films. But yeah, Rangers leading at the moment on aggregate 1-1. The game kicks off at 8, but they've got the away goal. But who knows? Could Prague surprise people again? Because they beat Leicester away from home in the second leg. Can they do it against Rangers? We'll see. Not much going on in this game so far. Arsenal, they've won the ball back on the left wing. Only one shot so far in this game, and that's from Arsenal, but nothing on target. The possession's 54% to 46%. And I think we've got a corner, and I believe this is the first corner of the game. It's going to Arsenal. It was Pepe who won the corner. It's going to be taken on the near side. So it's a short corner, it's Pepe. Tierney. Now David Luiz, it's gone back to Arsenal's half, and it's gone all the way back to Leno. I hate corners like that. What's the point? You end up going from there, where the goal is, to all the way opposite, which is just an absolute joke. Backwards football. It's too negative. It's way too negative. I just don't get it. Oh, that was a big chance, Pepe. He got past the goalkeeper and the goal was open, but there was a defender in front of him and he slipped and fouled, but he kicked it while he was falling down. And luckily for the Olympiacos, the defender, it took a deflection off him and it just hit the post, the outside post. Actually, no, it didn't hit the post at all. It hit the side netting, but it was just slowly rolling towards the goal. So you didn't. It was just a tense moment. Everyone just watching the ball, and Aubameyang was running to the loose ball, but he wouldn't have got there in time, and he was going in the opposite direction of the ball. Anyway, they've got the corner straight at the hands of the keeper. And I think, yeah, that was Gabriel who had the header there. It was a free header. I'll ask you, Luke, how far do you think Rangers could go? Because I'm sure Steven Gerrard will make sure his team don't make any screw-ups, because Prague beating Leicester, as I say, Rangers know deep down that they should beat them with the season that they've had, but we've got to at one point remember how different the Scottish football is to English football, and the quality, really. I mean, I still wonder if Rangers or Celtic would even be top 4 in the Premier League. I mean, there was that debate a few years ago. There was always people saying, what if Rangers and Celtic had moved from the Scottish Premiership to the English Premier League, which I'm glad they haven't. Oh, hang on, Olympiacos. Oh, straight at Bernd Leno. It's a good save. It's a corner, but oh, just before we reached 20 minutes, Olympiacos, just when I said they needed an early goal at the start of the game, it's a shame for them that they didn't score, because that, as I said, they would have just needed 2 more goals. They've got a corner though. And I think it was Al Arabi who had the shot. He struck it straight at the leg of Leno. Good save. The German goalkeeper. So here's the corner on the near side. It's swung in. Leno gets there. No one going for that ball at all, but just the keeper. Also going for the counter attack. Luke has responded, and he says, I think they'll go through tonight. It all depends on the draw, on who Rangers get in the next round. I'd love Rangers to get to the semis. Yeah, it'd be a great it'd be amazing if they got to the semi-final. I can't see it happening, but as I say, the way this season's gone for Rangers, why can't they? The momentum's there, clearly. They know how to win a lot of games. I think it'd be a shame if they went out to a team like Slavia Prague. That's probably me being a bit harsh, but when do we ever talk about Czech Republican teams getting far? Same for Scotland, though, I guess. Jamie Burgoyne saying, are you telling me I have to write more songs, size and talent? Burgoyne's been writing probably a million scripts. They're all very different from what I've seen so far. I think Arsenal might have a free kick here. It was Hector Bellerin who was tackled. Pretty much a late collision from Kamara for Olympiacos. Don't forget to subscribe to Let's Talk Sport. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're at 424 subscribers. We'd love to reach 430. Goal kick taken for Olympiacos. Arsenal do look a lot more dangerous up front. And just here we go now. Oh, it's over the bar from Aubameyang. No one on him at all on the edge of the box. He tried to loft the ball, and I think he was trying to dip it over the goalkeeper into the central of the net. As I said, they just look more dangerous. There's pace on them as well from Arsenal. Can't beat pace. Don't think he's got a corner out of it either. Is there a deflection? No. No. Goalkeeper read it well. He was about to lift his arm up to make the save, but then he hesitated because I think he knew from his bearings that it was going to go over the crossbar, which is a brave move, but he was right. And his goal kick's gone to nothing. It's gone out for a throw-in. But I think if Aubameyang had scored that, I think the game would have been well and truly over already. Of course, it's AC Milan versus Man United tonight, which I'm a bit nervous about because we're losing on away goals, all because of a last-minute header. I would have taken 1-0 that night last week, just as long as they didn't get an away goal, because that's such an advantage when you're going away from home and they haven't got an away goal. Of course, if we score first at least, then we've got the same away goals as AC Milan, but we really do need we need to score anyway, always we're going out. So if it stays as it is, AC Milan go through. I always find it weird when you watch second legs to games when they're drawing on aggregate, but then there's no goals in the second leg. It's so weird. It's just mad to think that in 90 minutes the team that needed the goal couldn't find one, but yet the other team couldn't find a goal to pretty much seal it. It's really weird that has happened. I can't remember what games, but there has been some weird games where the second leg was goalless and yet there was still a lot to fight for both teams. Weird. Oh, Olympiacos in the box. I think it was from a throw-in there, a long throw-in. Arsenal have dealt with it. And now it's back into Olympiacos' half. Tell you what, it's gone quick. It's already 25 and a half minutes gone, but no goals yet. Aggregate still the same at 3-1 from the first leg of last week. I didn't watch the Arsenal game last week, but I must admit I was a bit surprised. I was a bit surprised that they won 3-1. I had to remind myself that was 3 away goals, which does wonders. Of course, I believe the Champions League and Europa League draws are on tomorrow. If you support any of the teams in the Champions League that's still in the competition or the Europa League, do get in touch on the live chat page. Let us know which team you would like to get and maybe which team you don't want to get. I think it's quite exciting to know that there's 8 teams left in the Champions League and there's 3 English teams left. So the chances of 2 English teams facing each other off in the quarters is obviously very possible. I'd like to see it. But which one? I mean, Liverpool-Chelsea have had some classic Champions League ties over the years. And Man City-Liverpool we saw 2-3 years ago. Man City again absolutely battered in that first leg at Anfield. And then they lost the second leg game on its own against Liverpool, which... I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool and Man City played each other again, that Liverpool would beat Man City despite the season they've got and despite they haven't got the options of Van Dijk, for example, and Gomez in defence. But I don't know, Man City I'm sure have learnt a lot from that game under Pep Guardiola. Some of the players, of course, are still there. Oh, here's Olympiacos now, it's in the box. Oh, Bellerin, good tackle really, good clearance. I say good clearance, it's only half cleared. Olympiacos have the possession again. The ball's in the box. It's now on the right wing. Nearly reaching half an hour. Jamie Burgoyne asked me which is your favourite script. The Graduates. Bit of an inside joke. He'll get it. Here's Pepe on the halfway line. He's beaten one man. Second man clears the ball off his feet though. Of course, Arsenal play West Ham this Sunday. That'll be a good game. I don't know if it's at West Ham or at Arsenal. I don't know. It's a Sunday game, and I think obviously that's in the Premier League because Arsenal got knocked out by Southampton and West Ham got knocked out by Man U. I must admit, I was expecting Arsenal to do a lot better in the FA Cup because as well as them being the holders, they just love the FA Cup. So for them to get knocked out straight away was kind of surprised me, but probably summed up Arteta at that time because he was losing a lot of games between Christmas and the New Year, I think. So, over half an hour gone. Olympiacos have an hour left of play to get this game back into their own hands, which they still need 3 away goals. Can't see it happening at the moment. They had a good chance before, and it's been their only shot on target when Al-Habi struck towards the target, and it was well saved by Leno. Powerful leg save for it to go over the crossbar for a corner. But that's been it, really. If that had gone in, that would have made the game very interesting. But I think for Arsenal, it's just to be calm tonight and just not lose it in defence. Kazzy Moses has got in touch on our live chat page. Do join him and message me on there, and I'll read your comments. Good to see you, Kazia. Hope you're well. He says, I'd like Dortmund versus Porto, Chelsea versus PSG, Bayern Munich versus Man City. Now that would be a great game, but I wouldn't like to see that in the quarters. You want to see that in the final maybe, or the semis. And Liverpool versus anyone else, basically, he says. I mean, Dortmund is Kazimo's team, so that's probably why he is saying Dortmund versus FC Porto. I love how everyone I've spoke to who have still got their team in the Champions League just want FC Porto. FC Porto. They're probably going to beat whoever they've got next just to take the piss. I mean, they surprised everyone and beat Juventus, and they deserved to win. In that, I didn't watch the first leg, but second leg they deserved it. But imagine if they beat Dortmund, Kazia. You wouldn't be laughing then, would you? Who knows? When you've got Erling Haaland in that team, you never know on the night. Here come Olympiacos. Cross comes in. Dealt with well in the air. It's now with Al Neni, just outside the Arsenal penalty area. And they're looking at, they've just brought out the attempts on target stats so far, and it's 1-1 between the two, which sounds about right. Chelsea versus PSG would be a good one. Tuchel up against his previous employers. But what if Chelsea got Dortmund instead? He'd be up against his previous employers before PSG. So, would it be awkward? I don't think Tuchel would care too much. You move on, don't you? Chelsea were okay last night. They did what they had to do to beat Atletico, and it's a good result because Chelsea, I think, over the last few years have struggled. They've always got out the group stages, but they've always struggled to get to the last 8. I think the last time they did that was actually probably when they last won the Champions League. No, sorry, it was 2014 when they got to the semis, and they lost to Atletico Madrid at Stamford Bridge. I think that was when Diego Costa was playing for Atletico under Simeone. Oh, late challenge there on Smith Rowe, I think. And Arsenal have a free kick. Completely late. Never went for the ball at all. I think he was happy to take that one for the team. So the free kick will be on the left wing. I'm sure they'll just cross it into the box. But yeah, I think with Diego Simeone and Atletico Madrid, he's done great, don't get me wrong, but is he going to do any better? You know, those 2 Champions League finals, just absolute bullet to the feet there, isn't it? He was seconds away from winning it in 2014 until Sergio Ramos scored that late winner. Well, sorry, not late winner, it was a late equaliser that took it into extra time, and then they won before it went to penalties. So literally they had one hand on the Champions League. Mad. So free kick instead, it's just gone across the field instead of going into the box. 10 minutes to go till half time. Oh, Bellerin's still going. He's beaten 3 men so far, and he's won a corner. Oh no, it's a throw-in. He did well there, Bellerin. Jamie Burgoyne says, I believe Wrexham have drawn FC Porto in the FA Trophy quarter-finals. You sure? Are you sure you're not looking in the history books there, Jamie, and forgot to read out Cup Winners' Cup? Of course, if people, some of you lot at home who probably have seen the news over the last few weeks or months in regards to Wrexham have made the headlines because Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, two Hollywood actors, have bought Wrexham Football Club. If you haven't seen it, then yeah, that is true. They've bought the club. They are now officially 100% owners of Wrexham Football Club. It's crazy. I still can't believe it. I don't think anyone can quite believe it. I don't think they've been to the ground yet because of COVID, but I'm sure they'll come when everything's back to normal, whenever that will be. Hopefully this year. Subscribe to Let's Talk Sport. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and you're enjoying the stream. And it's a goal kick for Olympiacos. Ball too long there for Aubameyang to chase down from Gabriel. Kazia Moses has got back in touch, and he says favourite teams to win the Champions League this year: Bayern Munich, Man City, PSG/Chelsea, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Dortmund, put in brackets sadly being second to last as favourites, and FC Porto. I think, to be honest with you, I don't think I'd argue with that list in that order. I think I'd probably be on the same page as you, Kazia. Bayern for me, I mean, the fact that they beat Lazio 6-2 on aggregate, I mean, okay, Lazio were never expected to go that far, but they did, still, it just shows they've got goals in them. And if you mess around with Bayern, as in a bad performance, you're going to get battered. I think Man City and PSG will obviously make sure it's tight affairs if they play each other, but I think Bayern are the favourites. They've still got the league to focus on, though. Man City, they don't really. They've won the league, so they can kind of put more energy into the Champions League, which Man City need to win. They need to get that trophy in the trophy room at the stadium. PSG though, they've done well, and I think Pochettino's at the right club for me. And I said at the start of the season, we did do a on this channel, me, Seb, Joe and Luke, I think it was, we recorded our predictions at the start of the Champions League season, and I said PSG would win. So maybe I kind of want PSG to win just so I've got a prediction right, which I never get right. I'm crap at predictions. Probably why I don't bet. I would have been bankrupt by now. Jamie Burgoyne asks, in your opinion, Jamie, what do you think will happen with Wrexham, short and long term? Good question. I to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, because I don't know what the ambitions are there. I'd imagine for Wrexham, as we've read from their statements that they published, is that they would like to see them back in the Football League, which how long will that take, do you reckon, Burgoyne? Because it's all good to say that you're gonna do all this and that, but it's got to happen. Will they have to just invest a lot of money into a new squad, maybe? I mean, we've seen other teams do it, where it shows that if you've got money, you should be able to get back into the Football League. I still think it's going to be a big task for Wrexham. I think for the club as a whole, there's going to be a lot more professionalism in it. There's going to be actual people running the club. an actual CEO. Like, CEO's just been employed, which I don't know her name, but, which is good to see. So straight away they're getting on with things. They're clearly just getting on with it. They haven't just Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney and the group that have invested into the club have clearly not messing around. They actually do firmly believe that they can turn Wrexham's future around, and I think it's great for the town. I would just like to see them back in the Football League, but with an actual statement, not just get there for many years. That's the biggest challenge. Getting into the Football League is one challenge, but staying in it is a bigger challenge. And we've seen so many teams in the past go up there to League 2 and then they go straight back down. Some have made it, some haven't. And I think for Wrexham, they've got two challenges. Get out of National League, and then the second challenge is to stay in it. Yeah, they are in the playoffs at the moment. And I was talking to a Wrexham fan the other day when I was out on a walk. He was out on his bike and he was telling me that he watched the Wrexham game the other night and Dean Keats got sent off. He said it was wild, and he said it was a deserved draw. But he also said, Wrexham are doing well to just be up there. So who knows? If they could do it this season, Keats has definitely said. I'm sure Keats will stay for a little bit longer. There are quite a few Wrexham fans that are happy to see someone else come in, from what I've seen on the forums. Be interested to see how much money goes into the club. I mean, £2 million it was to buy Wrexham for Ryan Reynolds and Rob. I think straight away they want to finally build the Kop again. They clearly want to get that back for the fans. And I like all these plans that they've got. It's great for the club. I'm still a bit of a I'll believe it when I see it. I'm sure it will happen, but the crap that Wrexham has gone for over the last 13 to 14 years since they got relegated, and with the ownership that they had before the fans took over the club, was just barbaric. So it needs to change. And they've got the right owners there, and look, people can say it's for a documentary, it's for the cameras, it's for publicity. Even if it is, Wrexham are going to get so much more fans, so much more money into the club, more people buying their shirts around the world. They're going to be seen around the world. Can't buy publicity like that, even if it is part of an act. Still incredible. It's absolutely incredible. No one would afford it, and especially during COVID times when there was nothing but bad news coming in each day. And for football clubs, especially non-leagues, who had no money and no fan revenue coming in for the last 12 months. It's exactly what Wrexham would have wished for. Yeah, Burgoyne says they're doing okay at the moment, but the National League playoffs are a different beast to most other league playoffs. It's brutal. Yeah, I mean, you only have one team that automatically promote. It's incredibly brutal. And then you only have one other team that go through via the playoffs, which it used to be just 4 teams in the playoffs. Now it's, as Jamie Burgoyne mentions in the chat page, it's 6, which Wrexham did get to the playoffs in the new format, but they lost in the very first knockout round at home as well, which kind of summed up Wrexham really, where even when they've got close, they still balls it up. Burgoyne says Salford's hype fizzled out real quick, Papa John's trophy or not. They've got the trophy. It's a statement, I think, from Salford. I think they've stayed in the Football League, haven't they, for what, 2 years, I'd say? Was it 2 years? But it was funny, isn't it? Because they won the EFL trophy, and they only won it for 24 hours, and obviously the trophy had to go to for this year's winners, because the final of that was 24 hours later, last Sunday. 2 minutes of added time here. It's Arsenal 0, Olympiacos 0. I've not really talked about the game because it's, for you Arsenal fans, if you are wondering what's going on, I wouldn't worry too much about this game, because Olympiacos have just not really shown much threat to getting at least a goal, despite the Leno save. So 2 minutes of added time. Luke says, I think they want to build a training ground as well. Yeah, I did hear that. I didn't read about it or anything, but I did hear that. They've had problems with training grounds for ages. Colliers Park, of course, was their original training ground, but then FA Wales decided to buy it and have it as their own facility, which of course has now been done up. I haven't seen it, but I know someone who runs it, and, well, she works there full time. If you're watching, Lucy, hope you're well, and I think she'll be welcoming the Wales team next week during the international break, as they'll be using the facilities. So, seconds remaining before we reach half time. 2 minutes added on. It's a quick free kick taken for Arsenal in the centre circle. Now on the left wing, probably the last chance before the interval. Oh, Smith Rowe goes for goal. Had to be saved. It's a shot on target, but goalkeeper had to jump off the ground to just make the save and keep the ball in his possession. He's going for top right corner. It would have been a great goal. I do like that Smith Rowe. Of course, Saka has been named in the England squad for the international break. England play 3 games in that. Olympiacos with a cross in. It's headed out for a throw-in. And the referee has blown the whistle for half time. And yeah, not much to really talk about in that first half. To tell you the truth, I wasn't really expecting much, because Arsenal are not going to go crazy. And they know that from Arteta, I'm sure, before the kickoff, that they were to just calm down and just be aware that this game is in their hands. And they're doing well so far. 45 minutes gone. They're halfway through to getting to the last, is it the last 16? No, last 8, sorry, for the quarterfinals. So they're doing well at the moment, Arsenal. They're just 45 minutes away. And my words going all over the place. Olympiacos still needing 3 away goals. The same objective at the start of the game. So it is Arsenal 0, Olympiacos 0. Let's quickly go through the stats from the game so far. Let's have a look then. So, of course, no goals. Total attempts coming from Arsenal. Actually, it's 5 attempts to Olympiacos is 1. On target, it's 2-1 for Arsenal. Of course, Smith Rowe with that late attack then, which nearly found the top right corner of the net, which if he had scored that would have been a fantastic goal. It would have been up there with Odegaard's goal from the first leg. Olympiacos with just the shot on target, which was a big chance in which Leno, luckily for him, made the save. And if they had scored that would have been before 20 minutes into the game. And if he had scored that would have made the tie very interesting. But sadly for them, they didn't get it. Off target, it's 1-0 to Arsenal. Block shots, 2-0 for Arsenal. Woodwork, no one's hit the woodwork so far. And both teams have had 2 corners each. No offsides so far. The possession's actually been more Olympiacos, which surprises me, and it's quite a margin, 61% to 39%. Passes completed more for Olympiacos as well because of the possession, 319 to 207. Defending, balls recovered, 26 to 23 to Olympiacos, and that's pretty much it so far. So not really much to highlight about from that first half. Just it's so far so good for the Gunners in their bid to get to the last 8. We're going to have a quick break and then we'll get ready for the second half. We're going to just show you a debate that myself, George Harris, Joe Stanley and Jack Price had last night after the Chelsea Atletico game, and we were asking each other who would like to get who in the last 8 of the Champions League, and of course the draw takes place tomorrow. So don't go anywhere and we'll be right back after that. Just to double check, Bayern Munich won their game 2-1 tonight against Lazio, so they won 6-2 on aggregate. Is that one team, George, that you would like to see Chelsea avoid?
100%. I think. Yeah. I mean, again in the competition, you never know over 2 legs. I mean, I would even argue that even though Manchester City are playing that well. I mean, the sides that they've gone out to as in previous years, Manchester City, I would even take them over 2 legs. I know a lot of people disagree, but they lost to Lyon, they lost to Monaco, and there's something about the Champions League that they're so obsessed with that it might work against them.
Spurs
like it has,
as well beat them.
Yeah, same with Liverpool. I'd probably take Liverpool just because of the current form they're in. I'd probably take them in the draw, but I think Munich is one where you probably want to avoid to the very end, and we'd probably have more of a chance against a side like that in a one-off game rather than 2. But I mean, yeah, out of all the sides left, you probably have to say someone like a Porto would probably be the best.
Everyone's been saying Porto this week. Everyone I've been speaking to, and I'm thinking, hang on,
sorry,
you all can't have them. But who knows? Porto might do a 2004 and win the tournament. Joe, was your Liverpool ears burning there when George mentioned Liverpool? Because, I mean, who do you like to face? Because you've got PSG, you've got Bayern, you've got Man City. Those are 3 teams that I wouldn't want to go against right now.
You're saying Porto, are you, Joe?
Yeah. There's no easy teams in the Champions League, but we have a solid record against Porto in Europe. So you've got to say they're probably with all due respect to them, they are the easiest team left out the lot, really. So yeah, you want to avoid. Well, I would like to see City draw PSG because that's a tie that I want to see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see it as a final, but. Or semi.
No, that'd be 2 plastic clubs in a final. No, you don't want that.
So, maybe the quarters take one of the teams out of the equation, then maybe a Bayern, Chelsea, something like that as another semi.
Great, yeah.
And
they did play Bayern last season. Chelsea did.
We got done.
We'll have Porto. Dortmund can have Madrid, and then we'll go and play Dortmund in the semi. And then, Istanbul, so that's my plan. If I was in charge of the draw, that's how I would do it. Yeah.
Actually, that would be interesting, Jack, because if they did get Dortmund Chelsea, that's Tuchel up against his old club. Would you take that? I would, from what I've seen at Dortmund.
I think, to be honest, as long as we don't draw Bayern Munich, or I still feel Man City, because, I do watch.
So you can get into fights with your dad.
Yeah, that could be a bit of a scrap. There could be a lot of swearing going on.
I remember the bloodstains from last time. Horrible. And then I tasted it and it was ketchup. Really weird.
I think, as long as we don't draw Bayern Munich or Man City, I think I would sort of be happy with the opportunity that we could progress, because like I said before, when we drew the tie for this round, I was a bit concerned, obviously Atletico Madrid, in the form that we were in, but like I said, I think we thoroughly deserved to go through with the 2 legs and how we played, and I actually think we played really well tonight. So I mean, I think as long as we don't get Bayern Munich or Man City, I think we'll be relatively happy. But yeah, I can just see it's normally our luck that we get the best team in the draw. We usually fight against. We'll see.
I guess just before we discuss man of the match, George, just one quick one. Surely for Tuchel, the motivation is to win the Champions League, which may seem a bit crazy from people outside the club, but top 4's not a guarantee at the moment. There's a big contest there. I think Chelsea will still get top 4, but when there's still a few teams going for it as well as them, and West Ham and Everton and Liverpool and Spurs, it just shows how hard it can be, because I think you've already got 2 teams along with City getting top 4, and that's Leicester and Man United.
Yeah, I mean, I said to a mate of mine, I think that this week in particular, it was a critical week for Chelsea, kind of make or break with Sheffield United in the cup, which we should have too much for them, and then you're in the semi-final of that. That's a competition that we can realistically win, and with this result tonight, I think it shows that there's still light in a season that's been quite dark for Chelsea for the usual, where we expect to be challenging for titles, where we're kind of having a transition year where we have to expect that top 4 is the best we're going to get, but there's no guarantee of that. I mean, I think it will go down to the last game, who gets that 4th spot. But I just think that I mean, even though it was a terrible game against Leeds, it actually ended up being a point gained because Everton and West Ham both slipped up. So
Now you can
I
thank
can't
us for
see them.
the West Ham. Yeah, welcome.
I think they've got hard run-ins as well. I know we've got a good few games to come, but I think they've got a really tough run-in. I think particularly West Ham have coming up shortly. So yeah, I still think it could be a bright end of the season for Chelsea.
So welcome back to our live watch along of Arsenal versus Olympiacos in the Europa League. And if you've just joined us, you haven't missed anything. So don't worry if you've just come back from work or from school or anywhere else, you haven't missed anything if you're an Arsenal fan. If you're an Olympiacos fan, then I'm afraid, mate, it's just not happening for you. No goals, you need 3 goals, and you've got 45 minutes left to do so, and you've only had 1 shot on target so far. So yeah. One of those games, and sadly really I've watched a lot of boring games this week. Tuesday night was... which game was that? I forgot all of a sudden. Real Madrid, Atalanta, that was boring. Doesn't matter what the scoreline was, it was just boring. Not a great game to watch. Last night was Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, which I really thought it would have been a better game because I thought Atletico Madrid would have turned up, but they just did not. They were just poor. And because of that, Chelsea got the goals at the right times of the game, and it looked comfortable at the end, actually, to be honest. I'm sure it wasn't for the players, but when you watch the game, Chelsea deserved it, and because of that, they are in the next round. So yeah, the games I've watched this week have been pretty dull, and we had our watch-along for Wolves Liverpool on Monday night, which I was actually at the game, so I didn't do the watch-along. Luke and Joe did it, and I hope for them they enjoyed it. I'm afraid I'll remember the game more because of what happened to Rui Patricio, who said he had a head injury during the game and was being treated for at least 15 minutes on that pitch. So obviously the game was going on forever at the end with stoppage time, but that's just the way it was. They had to be careful because it was a head injury, and I believe Nuno, the manager of Wolves, has said that he should be okay. Wolves have had quite a lot to deal with injuries this season, especially with head collisions of Raul Jimenez and Rui Patricio. So yeah, nothing going on at the moment. Of course, do get in touch on the live chat page. I hope you enjoyed that video just then with me, George, Joe and Jack. Jack and George being the Chelsea fans from last night's watch along, and Joe the Liverpool fan. And it was mainly just a chat after that game to see who would want what in the draw for the next round of the Champions League. It's going to be an interesting one. We talked about that already in this stream about the Champions League and Europa League draws tomorrow. I don't care about the Europa League draw unless United are in it, which they need to win tonight to obviously be in that draw tomorrow. So I'm not getting carried away just yet. So we've had some messages. Luke Tanner has asked thoughts on the England squad. Actually, let's have a look at the England squad, shall we? Because it's hit and miss for me, and I understand some players are not available, so that's why you've got other names in instead. But let's actually have a look. I am just randomly using a source here. I'm just hoping that there's a list up from the page. Instead, I'm just scrolling through. It's just, oh my god, come on. I hate articles that don't actually give you a list. It's just an article of the story of the lineups. You just think, well, I just want the list. Actually, let's go on England's Twitter. They probably put it in as a picture or graphic. So it's taken a while. Come on. No, Sam Johnstone being mentioned. Come on. I can't find it. Come on, what's the England squad? I should have thought about that. Oh dear. Sport Bibles reported that put the headline England squad for World Cup. Come on. For World Cup qualifiers ranked from world class to dire selection. Oh dear. Probably agree. Doesn't look great. Look at this. World class you have Kane. No, Sterling's not world class. Who the hell thinks Sterling is world class? I mean, really? I know the stats and the goals he gets for Man City shouldn't be forgotten about, but my God, he fucks up in the big games. Look at him against Man United last week, didn't do anything. The World Cup, how many sitters did he miss? I just don't rate him. He's a great player, but I don't rate him in terms of world class. Come on. Elite, Rashford, Foden and Kyle Walker. How the hell's Kyle Walker elite? Do people watch football? Rising star. Bellingham, definitely. Is that Henderson? Yeah, that's Dean Henderson. Declan Rice. I always call him Bill Rice. I don't know why. Underrated. Lingard. Don't know about that. So the game's just kicked off now for the second half. And I don't think there's been any substitutions. No substitutions. Would have helped if I start the second half clock. There we go. But yeah, whoever thinks Kyle Walker is elite, I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. So, Arsenal attacking from right to left, Olympiacos from left to right. And I do think Miranda is joining us on Zoom. Hopefully we'll see her shortly. And I think there's a corner for Arsenal. Be the first one of the second half. Oh, and there is Miranda. Hello. we have you on finally. Finally. Oh, you're on mute at the moment. Your mic's on mute. Good intro.
Do you know how many times I've heard that in the last week or so, with everything being Zoom based at the moment? I'm very not technical, in case you couldn't already tell.
I'm in the space station, and you would hate it here. You'd be thinking, "What does that button do? What does that do?" Oh, here we go.
I think, as you know, so I do some work with the BBC, and today I managed to mess up some equipment so badly. Not one technician in the BBC knows how to fix it
Oh, no.
at the moment. There are people that have remotely gone into the laptop. There are people who've tried to reset it. Nothing will work. I'm cursed around technology.
Are you sure you didn't just get a cup of water and put it all over the computer and just go, that might not have
done.
That's probably why.
That's how it's looking at the moment. The sound just will not work on it.
That's brilliant. So I take it you've seen the scoreline.
Yeah, very happy so far. But we know Arsenal's tendency to throw things away,
yeah.
I won't be content until that final whistle is blown.
Well, just as I say that, they've got a shot here. No, it's gone for a corner for Olympiacos. But no, there wasn't. To be honest, there's only been one shot on target for Olympiacos in this game so far, and Leno made the save, which was a great save, but it was kind of as a neutral, I wanted it to go in because it's like, no, we need a goal or two from Olympiacos to make this very exciting. For you lot, it would be, no, I do not want to hide behind the sofa for the 75th time this season, but
I think it's definitely been more than that. There are at least 20 moments in the last 5 minutes of the Arsenal-Tottenham game the other day.
Oh God, yeah. I just couldn't believe the Rabana goal, to be honest with you. I was speaking to a colleague at work who's a Spurs fan. I went, did you see that goal? And he goes, yeah, but it's typical of us to score the greatest goal ever and then he gets sent off and then lose the game. I'm like, you Spursed it up, mate. And he wasn't very happy about that.
Well, I've made my opinions on the Mala known well after the incident with Martial at the start of the season. I mean, I'm not a United fan or anything, but that annoyed me so much. That, and that was the great thing, because I was so annoyed when he scored such a good goal. And then, of course, everyone was raving about it at half time. And then when he got sent off, everyone was going, oh, he's ruined it now. I was like, this is the best. I would rather that had happened than he'd not scored at all, because now it feels like he made an effort and it's going to go underappreciated, which is probably very cynical of me. But he's a Spurs player. What can we expect?
I think Martial was literally just grinning like Mr. Burns or something like that when he was watching the game, like excellent or something like that. Knowing Martial, but probably something in French. Actually, we do have a question for you when you weren't here. It's from Luke from our live chat page, and he put Miranda, thoughts on Arsenal season so far. Are you Arteta in or Arteta out? Which I had a feeling this question would come up.
I am massively Arteta in, personally.
Yeah.
I think that if we immediately try and change managers again, we get stuck in the same situation where a manager has been put in with players he hasn't bought, that he hasn't decided on, and then he's just getting to grips with that team and bringing his own players in, and then we bring someone else in, and that's just not going to work. A lot of Arteta's problems, I personally think, at the start of our season were to do with players brought in by, say, Edu, that he didn't have a lot of control over.
Yeah.
Those decisions were made for him. And I think some of the players that we know that he's brought in, Thomas Partey, I mean, not so much in the Spurs game, didn't play well
he's
then.
not on the party.
But exactly.
Sorry, I had to put that in. Olympiacos have scored. It's a goal. They need 2 more goals, and this has just all of a sudden got very interesting.
This is not what I wanted to see.
Oh dear. There we go. Yeah, it was. I think it was. Oh, actually, no. Oh, hang on. I think VAR might be a friend here, maybe, or maybe not. I'm just rewatching it now. It came straight from the defensive line of Olympiacos, and then it was 4 left in defence for Arsenal. It comes onto the left wing. I think he just goes alone here, or does he cross it in? No, he does go. Oh, it's a great goal. But is the Olympiacos player offside? He's gone. He's in front of Leno when the shot is taken, so that could be seen as obstruction. It's a good finish though. It took a deflection off Gabriel at the end, so I don't think it'll be an own goal because the shot was on target. So if it stays like that, that means Olympiacos need 2 more goals with, literally 40 minutes. just under 40 minutes. Oh no.
That's a lot of time, though, isn't it?
Yes, that could feel like 40 hours in football.
Especially if you're an Arsenal fan.
Brilliant. So, I mean, we were talking about Arteta in because you're Arteta in from what you were saying.
Yeah, massively. I just think the players that he has brought in, I think Thomas Partey's been great. The assist on that goal to Aubameyang, I can't even think what game it was in. Last month, though, I think it was the Leeds game. Perhaps. Yeah. I think he's on the most part. I mean, as I say, I don't think he was at his best in the Tottenham game. I think he's been great, and Arteta's really brought some of the kids through. Like, we're seeing a lot more of Saka and obviously Smith Rowe, Nketiah. Yeah, I just think there needed to be big change at Arsenal, and I think that partially, was further up in management. But I think that whoever we got in, there was never going to be a quick fix. And maybe, we had to go through that awful period in, October, November.
That was a terrible period. It felt like Arsenal's funeral or something like that.
I remember going into work on Boxing Day with the Chelsea match coming up, and I was dreading it because
with turkey sandwiches.
Everyone at work knows I'm such a big fan, and they've been bullying me relentlessly, for these 2 months, especially after the Burnley game as well. Oh. And I was just shocked. I was shocked how well we played. And then obviously we had that really nice run through January. I mean, I know we've not had some great games, but the win against Spurs is definitely something that I wouldn't have expected 6 months ago.
Yeah.
We're on the up. We're not going to win everything, are we?
But I always believe. I mean, I don't know. Football's just that problem at the moment where how can you get a project going if you're not sure you're going to be there in 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months? And I'm a United fan. I'm an Ollie in at the moment because he's made progress. And a lot of people say, "Oh, he's not won any trophies," though. I'm like, but it's like, well, calm down, be patient. It takes time, and it's like we haven't had the recruitment we wanted. Like last summer, everyone says, "Oh, you got Cavani," and a last-minute deal, and it was a free transfer on the deadline day. Come on, that's how I feel about Arteta, and I think he showed in that FA Cup run when they beat Man City, which no one else could beat Man City at the time. And then they beat Chelsea in the final convincingly as well, thanks to Aubameyang. That said to me, look, it just shows that if you give Arteta the time and the money and the players that he wants, then maybe there's actually a light at the end of the tunnel.
I think he's clearly learned quite a bit from Pep Guardiola, and I think it's going to take some time to implement that. And like you say, if you come in as a manager with a new strategy and you don't have the players for that strategy, what can you do? You're stuck then, aren't you? And the fact that hopefully, the club are behind him, they're giving him this time and space, I think we are really starting to pick up. I get excited about lineups now. I mean, I've been quite critical of Pepe and Willian of late, but they've picked up recently as well. So I don't know. I just think give it some time. Do I think we're going to finish in the top 6 this season? Probably not. We're not going to make the top 4 either.
No,
we're not going to make the top 4. But maybe we just see this season as good practice and getting to grips with a new manager, and then we really push next season. We've definitely got it in us.
Yeah. I think
for the players.
I mean, I think as well, even in 2020, Arteta had only done like 9 months of the job anyway, because 3 months of it was in lockdown. So he's only just been in the job for just over a year. So this is his first full season as well, which those long run of defeats don't help him, but I think they've got that pass behind them, and it's shown that they've come out a bit stronger. And actually, probably your favourite player at the moment's just come on, Odegaard.
He's probably. I have my 3 top are always Aubameyang, Saka, and Tierney, but Odegaard and Smith Rowe have been giving them a run for their money lately.
Not David Luiz.
Do you know what? I quite like David Luiz. I I think he has this ability to either have a great game or an awful game.
Yeah.
And when he has a great game, he will head balls out. Like in the Tottenham game the other day, he made a crucial save at one point that could have been dangerous. And then you have these games like the Wolves game where you just think, what? So I think
he's so unpredictable.
Yeah, when he's at his best, he's great, which is how I felt about Ozil. When he's there, he shows up, he's a great player. But when he's not putting the effort in, he's not there, it's like he's on the other team.
Yeah.
Like, you've lost a man and they've gained another one sometimes. But
Well, it's been a few minutes since that goal, and there's not been much there from Olympiacos. Arsenal had a corner, but it came to nothing. Here's another question for you. It's from Sebastian True, and he asks, how special a player can Smith Rowe become?
I think massive. I think he can. There's been a lot of talk about him potentially being this new number 10. I don't know about that. But if you look at the matchup of him with our wing backs or, left back, right back, I think he's fantastic down those sides. He's great getting, especially when we play. I always feel like we play our best when we're playing a 4-2-3-1. I think that really suits our style. And he's great. I think it's particularly the left side that he plays. I watch games with him and I'm frustrated for him sometimes because he puts in these amazing crosses across goal and there's no one there. There's no one there to put that in. Like Lacazette in the Tottenham game, great player, but there were some awful ones that he could have just slid in or tapped in. Smith Rowe does all the work. He gets it there, and we just need more improvement, more energy, maybe more of a want to come in and be ready for those when he puts them in. Because I almost feel like he would have had tens more of assists if people had been there ready for his cross in.
Yeah, the thing is though, that's what I hate about football at the moment. There's not much pace and there's not many people moving around. It's like a lot of them just stand still in the box, just like, move your bloody legs. That's what football is.
That's one of my beefs about Pepe, because I think he does have...
Sorry, Miranda, that should have been a goal for Arsenal there.
No.
It took a deflection on the way on target at the end. It was Pepe who took the shot. But this was a great cross. It comes from the left-hand side. Low ball cross, nice fast pace from Arsenal. And I think Aubameyang was in there, but then it was Pepe who got it. Oh, it took a deflection off. I think it's Smith Rowe. Yeah, it is. It's Smith Rowe.
Just picking him up.
It's just as we did. He hit his back and then it goes over the bar. So that's a goal kick. But that's what happened last night. We did Chelsea Atletico, I think it was. I can't remember which players we were saying was doing well, and then ended up just being like, no, it's a terrible play. I think it was, George said last night, Alcante's had a poor season. He has a great game last night. And it's like, anything we say is the opposite. So if you say Messi has a terrible game, he'll most likely have a great game.
In which case, Arsenal have no chance of winning the Premier League this season.
I'm afraid you're mathematically already out of it, so I think that's not going to work. Unless, like, Man City's team bus goes down a cliff of an edge, or edge of a cliff, sorry, or Man United's does that, and all the other teams, then I think you're out of luck.
Unfortunately, I thought it was worth a go, maybe.
Let's talk sport curse. Who knows? We'll have to probably archive all that, because I'd like to remember that. There's another question for you. It's Luke again, saying, Miranda, did Arsenal sell your best keeper in the summer? I think they did. Yeah. I
think they did, and I think they could have got a lot more for him. Everyone said that Aston Villa maybe paid a bit more than they should have done. I think they didn't pay anywhere near enough. What was it, 20 million, 21 million? Leno is, don't get me wrong, Leno is a fantastic keeper, but what upset me was we wouldn't have won that cup final without Martinez.
Yeah.
We wouldn't, and I felt that he deserved the chance to play in the Prem with us. You know, if they were to say to him, you get one in every 3 games or something, I think it would have been so worth us keeping him. I mean, got nothing against Matt Ryan or Runason. I haven't massively seen a lot of them yet, and Ryan was okay in the Villa game. But Martinez is the goalie in my fantasy team. I get very upset that we sold him. I think we did, and as I say, that's not to take away from Leno. This season he's been fantastic, but yeah,
But
I love Martinez.
He's so good. I mean, I watched him. I think it was the Villa Arsenal game back in November, and I was in London at the time watching at someone's flat, and I just remember, and he's an Arsenal fan, this guy, and I just kept laughing at him saying, he's better than your keeper. And then he just went, I know. And then Grealish scored and Watkins scored, I think. And I just went, oh, Arsenal have really just put themselves in a bag at the moment. This is terrible.
And it gets to the point where when we play Villa, I don't mind if we don't win, because I think Emi Martinez deserves the respect for keeping our goals out. I'm so upset that we got rid of him. I don't mind losing, because I think, well, at least it makes him look good.
Yeah. Do you think though with the price, because as you say it was very low in this market anyway, do you think maybe Arsenal did that because for a team like Aston Villa they had already spent a record fee on Ollie Watkins last summer? Do you think maybe they did that to be realistic and think, look, he's got to go, sadly we've got to put a price that we don't want for him in a way?
Perhaps there had already been those talks with Arteta within the management, and they decided that he was going to go. So it would have been maybe too late to sort of try and go back on that. They had to sell him. And maybe, I mean, obviously, I don't know, maybe Villa were the only ones who had real serious interest, but I just think it was such a great deal for them. I mean, he's contributed so much to their place this season. I mean, obviously you've got fantastic goal scorers at Villa at the moment, but he has been so essential in keeping that goal difference down or up, if you see what I mean.
You've just frazzled my brain. I think it's a goal kick. There was a free kick there for Olympiacos. It hit straight the head of David Luiz, and Bellerin was the man lying on the ground behind the wall, which I just hope, not in a nasty way, but I just want one player from the wall to accidentally go a bit backwards and stud the back of the player and go, I'm so sorry, I forgot you were there. Probably ruin their career with that. Goal kick then taken, but at the moment Arsenal will go through. They can't afford conceding 2 more goals though. If that did happen, Arsenal are in a mess.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Actually, Luke has said Martinez should be Argentina's number 1. Who is number 1 at the moment, Luke? It's not Romero, is it? Which Romero, if you've seen him, Luke, get the wanted posters out, because I haven't seen him since last season. God knows where he's gone. Actually, no, he is still a United player, I think, which, actually, I must admit, my theory is, Luke, is that if they let go of De Gea, keep Romero again as second keeper and put Hendo as your main goalkeeper, and then make sure Lee Grant still earns his 30 grand a week as a third goalkeeper. It's all right for some. It's ridiculous. The one.
Yeah,
go on.
I'd agree with that. I think he should be Argentina's number 1.
I can imagine, like, if somehow Arsenal get to a Champions League final and Martinez is playing for Barcelona or something like that, I can just imagine you'll be the only Arsenal fan in the crowd saying, you know what, I'm happy Barcelona won that final. Why? Martinez? Let it go! He's
never
gone.
gonna let it go. I can't. I just can't.
Oh, Arsenal header there goes off the target. Bellerin taking a header. I don't see that every day.
What was I reading the other day? There was some stats about the most assists created through open play, and I think that was the stat. And Bellerin was 3rd this season. Yeah,
Jesus.
And it shocked me as a stat. I think top was Saka, and I think probably Smith Rowe, but not 100% on that. But yeah, but apparently Bellerin's been putting a lot of crosses into open play that then haven't gone on to score anything. He's one of those where I feel like David Luiz, he can either have a great game or little impact.
The
He,
David
you know,
Luiz effect.
For me, particularly with the Brighton game before Christmas, he's up against Lewis Burton, the
Yeah.
Brighton player,
Yeah.
who's like an entire foot taller than him. So that makes things hard, doesn't it? When you're a defender and there's not even any point in him going for it. He's not going to win in that 1v1 situation, is he?
I know how he feels. I'm very small, so you know, anyone that's taller than me, it's like, oh, get out. I can reach for the biscuits on that top shelf. I'll go get my stool. That's the worst thing. Actually, I remember once I was in a shop and they had bourbon cream on the top shelf, and I'm thinking, why would bourbon cream be on the top shelf? I don't get it. I'm really confused about this, and I couldn't bloody reach it. And this was like 5-6 years ago when I think I was still growing a little bit, and I was just thinking to myself, you know what? Nothing could be more unbearable than this moment. Luckily, no one saw it happen. So let's just say there was a little stool or something around the corner from the shop assistant. Luckily, he disappeared for a bit, so I just stole it, rolled it round, and went, "I'm getting this biscuits now." And then I think there was CCTV in the corner. I was like, "Yeah, I hope that didn't capture that."
Well, as someone who still insists her height is 5'4.5", working with people who, I mean, one of my closest people that I work with is 6'5", so
Jesus.
they often take a lot of delight in placing things on high shelves where they know I won't be able to reach them, or hiding things around the office.
I can imagine
for,
it's your phone, and
entertainment.
it's like the most important call ever, and it's your phone. They just put it on the top shelf. You think, not today, not today.
Luckily, with COVID restrictions at the moment, they can't. So,
Oh shit, yeah.
but I'm sure when they open up, the torture will continue again.
June 21st, it all begins again. Well, actually, funny enough, I mean, I've been working from home for the last 12 months, and so I don't know what people look like anymore. So all these people on Zoom could be completely the opposite for all I know. But I just remember going to some of the matches. I went to Wolves Liverpool on Monday, and I thought to myself, I kept thinking to myself in my head, you know what, maybe there might be fans tonight. I turn up, it's literally just a hay ball going past the pitch, and I just thought, yeah, this is shit. Like, it just sucks. I mean, the fact that, like, even people that I see in the commentary box that I know, I can't even probably go up to them unless I don't go past this tape or something. It's just like, when can I just hug someone?
When there was before we were out of the FA Cup, thanks to Southampton, there was the case that that Arsenal might be playing Shrewsbury, which is really close to me.
Oh yeah.
And it would have been at Shrewsbury. So I was, thinking about how realistically I might be able to get down there and sneak in. And we heard a great story through lockdown, where a Crew fan was really desperate to see his team play. So he brought a step ladder to the ground.
I've seen this, yeah.
And climbed up to watch the match. And I was thinking,
It's genius.
Do you think Shrewsbury would let me do that? Do you think I'd be able to do that and peer over and see the boys playing? But
technically, the thing is though, I think you would have been able to, but there would have been a massive queue.
Probably. I don't think I'd have been the only one with that idea had Arsenal journeyed to Shrewsbury for a game.
They probably would have made sure you paid 30 quid for a minute peek, and then it's like, move on, next person. You've seen them. But as long as you take a photo, you can, people always say, if it goes on social media, it apparently happened. If you don't post it, it didn't happen. So, fair opportunity there.
Don't know whether I believe that.
Oh, Olympiacos looking for that second goal. It's in the box. No, they've gone back out. Actually, there's an ex-Arsenal player in this team, isn't there? Socrates, I think it is.
Yes. Did you not see Aubameyang posted a picture of the two of them smiling after the game last week?
No.
So So I'm thinking there probably aren't too bad tensions there. But again, Socrates was someone who I didn't really think had a massive amount of impact on the game.
No.
So I wasn't, gutted when he left, unfortunately.
No. Edu signing probably.
Probably.
I always get mixed up with Edu, the one from Arsenal, and the American player who, I I don't know why. They have the same name, and it's such a rare name. And I kept thinking to myself, have they seriously got an American running football? Because that's the wrong sport for them. It's the NFL for them, not soccer or however you say it. Rich, I've been to America once, and I went to a New York City game versus Columbus Crew, and a lot of them would say soccer. And me and my uncle were literally like screaming, "It's football! Don't call it soccer!" No one calls it that.
They call the other stuff American football, don't they?
Yeah, but like they don't even kick the ball. They should call it handball or throw ball or something. You know, it's not even. They don't even kick it. It's just. At least rugby just came up with a name because they were like, "What city are we in? Rugby, we'll call it that."
Is that really how they decided the name for it?
I don't know. I mean, it was invented in rugby, but I don't know if it's because of the. I'm not sure, but it's a good name.
You should have just gone with that. I'm that gullible. I would have believed you, and I'd have gone off and told everyone that.
You're not one of those where if I told you right now, Olympiacos got 2 goals now.
No, I've got alerts. I'm following along on my screen
Damn
as well.
it.
You can't put that past me, unfortunately.
Damn it. The one thing I've learned from the live chat pages on YouTube, though, is that when you need one more goal to change the game, you will have 1 or 2 trolls on the live chat page putting the scoreline in, and you think it's going to happen, like literally moments later, but then it doesn't happen. You think, you misled me, you bastards.
Well, I always get, this is the thing, I love this and I hate this at the same time, that the BBC Sport notifications tell you when the goal is about a minute before you see it on the TV.
Yeah.
So that's great if you're not watching very closely, because you're like, oh, look up now, there's a goal coming. But if you are watching closely and you're on the edge of your seat and then the phone buzzes and you look down thinking someone's texted you and you see a goal is about to be there, you're like, oh, like you want to feel like it's natural and you want to watch it and not know.
It is annoying. Because I'll be honest, I have one of those streams that isn't Sky and it isn't BT either, if you catch my drift, but it's always a few minutes behind. So if I leave my WhatsApp group chat on, which is full of people just talking about the game, there'll always be someone saying, "Oh, it's a goal." I'm like, no, don't tell me. And it's like, who's it for if you must say? Oh, it's so annoying. It's like, don't tell me. Oh,
you don't want to know.
And I blame Luke for that. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Luke. Luke says, I think the Porto keeper is the #1 for Argentina. And Seb says it's been Armani in goal for Argentina since around the 2018 World Cup, which Argentina don't really have a long history of good goalkeepers, unless I'm wrong. Do tell me if so, folks, if you're watching. But yeah, there's been South American goalkeepers are slowly getting good. You've got Edison in goal these days, Alisson for Brazil as well. Brazil, how the hell do you pick a goalkeeper out of them two? Nice problem to have. Who's your soft spot team? There must be one English team you have a soft spot for.
Are we talking Prem, Championship,
Any.
League 1, League 2? I have a soft spot for probably 3 other teams, actually.
Oh.
Well, actually, no.
Arsenal,
2.
put your ears closed.
I used to have a soft spot for Wolves, but not anymore. Not after that match. They can all... Yeah, I don't care. But I do take quite a lot of interest in Crewe, just because it's my local team. So they're in League 1 at the moment. And also, I really do quite like Norwich.
Oh, Norwich!
I follow them quite closely. And yeah, I do really like them.
When I always think of Norwich, I think of Alan Partridge.
Is that the only thing you don't think of the football team?
No, I just think of Alan Partridge because that's where he's from, and I think of Harry Hill's TV burp because there's a random scene when it's apparently the end of the world and there's this graphic video telling you which cities are going to drown, and then it starts with Lagos, Nice, Manchester, London, and then just out of nowhere, and Norwich. And then Harry Hill just goes, how will the world cope without Norwich? And it's just been there ever since.
I think this is something that I thought last season. I thought someone would have bought Todd Cantwell before his contract was up. You know, with them going down, I thought United might go for him or something, and,
Yeah.
and no one did. That shocked me.
And a bargain.
'Cause I thought he was great.
Yeah, I'm confused by that because I watched Norwich the other day briefly against Sheffield, and Cantwell, I think, scored in that game, and I kept thinking to myself he had gone somewhere else, but it was not until I watched that game to remind myself, oh, he's still there. And it's the fact that he's going to come up to the Premier League now. I'm sure of it. I can't see Norwich not getting into the Prem now, but surely if they do let him go, the price will be a bit higher than it would have been 12 months ago.
Maybe that was their thinking behind it, but I would have thought for him personally, with his contract being up at that time as well, it was the perfect move to ensure that he was still playing in the Prem.
Yeah.
But he didn't in the end. But yeah, I think he's a great player. That's probably most of my love for Norwich is him solely.
Not his hair.
No.
No.
He doesn't tie it up very well. It annoys me, actually. But I'm sure him as a person is lovely.
Brilliant. It is good to see Cantwell, a young talent there. Hopefully, who knows, England squad one day maybe. We'll see. Of course, there's a few Championship players that I've seen recently that, you know, if Gareth Southgate actually did do his job, did his homework, he might actually pick out someone. Oh, Arsenal nearly made it 4-2. Pepe just couldn't get it past the keeper. I don't know what to think of Pepe, because to be honest with you, I don't really rate him, but I know he has magic in him.
I don't.
And when you think of the price for him as well, it's not been great.
My issue with him is not that he doesn't have the talent, but he's very slow.
Yeah.
If you look at him when he makes it into the box, he spends a lot of time sort of trying to carefully think, or he'll like slowly move forward, and that's just not good enough. Sometimes you need to press, and you just need to go for it. And I find watching him quite frustrating when I'm thinking, why would you not just rush in and shoot and go for it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time he comes in and he messes about so much, the box is then filled and the opportunity is gone. When he does it, he's great, but there just needs to be more urgency with his delivery, and that's something that you get with Saka and with Smith Rowe, and that's,
Yeah.
I will pick them over him for that, because I don't know what the accuracy stats are. Maybe they're not as accurate as him, but at least they're having a go and they're pressing, and that will pay off sometimes.
Yeah, it's a weird one. He does. I've noticed when there's a bit of pressure on him and his form starts to go out the window, he seems to score a goal now and again. And they can be, some of them can be good goals. It doesn't matter. He gets himself on the score sheet, and then it dies down again. That's probably the same with Solskjaer. He's always under pressure, then he wins games again. But it's no different to that, really. He goes and beats Man City last week. I'm like, yeah, of course, why not? Pep Guardiola's nothing on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But, hang on, this could be it now. It's Aubameyang up front. I think it's Aubameyang. He's one-on-one with the keeper. Oh, he's chipped it wide. And it's gone for a goal kick. That would have no doubt sealed the deal, that if that had found the back of the net with 10 minutes to go. What do you think of Aubameyang's season? Because he had a very quiet spell, didn't he?
I got very frustrated at the start when, there was the time where he wasn't scoring a lot, and you had to have pundits like Jamie Redknapp saying, "Oh, he's past his best, he's lost it."
I heard that. I thought that was a bit
that
over the top.
Frustrated me so much, because, of course, as a top scorer, you are going to go through periods of down, and you aren't going to score as much. And with his, particularly in January, with his mum's health being unwell, it probably wasn't the forefront of his mind, getting back.
I didn't know that. That's
so he missed a few games because he had to travel back to Gabon to see his mum, who was really unwell, and then with COVID restrictions, he couldn't train and play for a bit. So I don't think it was at the forefront of his mind in that period. But since then, he's been really influential again. My problem is sometimes Arteta tries to play him down the right, and he's clearly more comfortable playing up front or down the centre. He wants to be there to receive those crosses in from Smith Rowe, and I understand Arteta trialling him sort of down the right, but when he's clearly more comfortable in the centre, he scores more goals like that. I don't know why you wouldn't just go with that when he's such an influential part of the team.
Yeah. It's hang on, there's a yellow card. Who's that for?
Probably Granit Xhaka.
I've forgotten he's even playing in this game. Oh, there he is. I've just seen him on the TV. But no, it wasn't him. It was Bar. But yeah.
Did he relatively well behaved in the first half?
Surprisingly, yes. Because the only time I ever see him is when he's got someone else's leg. That sounds about right.
Strangling someone, as he did in the Burnley game.
I remember when he used to play for Mönchengladbach, and I was a bit surprised the team like Arsenal wanted him, to be honest. But maybe that was the Arsenal recruitment back then, where it was always a bit questionable. But he's done all right, I guess, under Arteta.
My heart is in my mouth every time he's on the pitch, though. I mean, did you watch the Tottenham game at the weekend? There was that moment between him and Lamela where I just thought, he's going to go, and he's going to get sent off. He's just so volatile. And it worries me when he's on the pitch, and I don't really think that's an example to set to younger players. I get that he's good, and it's nice to have him there sometimes, but I worry whenever I see him in the team sheet. Just think, oh, we're going to go down to 10 men here if someone's being particularly aggressive, and I think other teams see that. They see him as a weakness and someone they can try and wind up because they think it's the easiest way to get someone sent off, and that's not obviously the message we want to be sending out.
No, and let's not forget, he walked off once and the crowd booed him and he didn't react to it very well at all, which I can understand. You have to be quiet, but he's human as well. You know, it's easy to jump on that boat and fire the cannons instead of getting on that boat and just going on holiday. I don't know what I'm saying. I have no idea what I'm trying to describe here. It was going well and I just lost it. But oh, hang on. Zagreb have got 2 goals back against Tottenham. So that means it's 2-2 with both teams with no away goals. So Tottenham, if they concede before the 90, they're going out, which would be hilarious. Fingers crossed, because I have been saying that. Oh my God, I've been trying to stress for ages that Pochettino leaving Tottenham was a terrible decision by Levi, but at the moment they might go out the Europa League. Now that would be funny.
I have been so enjoying Jose Mourinho's Instagram posts.
It's been great, hasn't it?
He started at Tottenham. My favourite one, whenever I'm feeling down, I go back to that one. And it's the one where he's sat on the bus with the face mask, and he's captioned it something like, "Poor playing brings poor results. Hope everyone on this bus is as disappointed as I am. We start work Monday." It gets me in my heart, that post.
I love it, because I like the one that he did when they're all on their phones and he's just standing there trying to give like a team talk after the game. It's brilliant. I think we need content like that, though, don't we? We need actual behind the scenes kind of stuff, and I think, you know, fair play to Mourinho. I worried that he would. It's funny because he became a Sky Sports pundit after he lost the United job, and I think he even said in his interview when he became a pundit, he said he did it to understand the media side and to see it from their angle. And I think it's helped him, like, learn why journalists ask him the most awkward questions, why they like to piss him off a little bit to get him rattled. And I think he's learned, but he still is Mourinho. He still is who he is.
I don't enjoy watching interviews with him after the game because I think he can get wound up by something that's happened in the game and not see anything past it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about watching Arteta post-match. Like, you know, the other day he was asked about, you know, the penalty decision. And he said, oh, well, you know, I haven't seen it back yet. I don't know. But he talked about the rest of the game. And you see Jose Mourinho comes in and he's like, oh, well, what we can learn from this is that refs are wrong and my team need to learn to cope with that. And, you know, yeah, maybe that decision did go against them. But there are still lessons you can learn. And that doesn't say anything about the way that you played.
Yeah.
I want there to be better feedback. I want him to open up more about how he felt about the game, and sometimes we don't get that, and I find that frustrating.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, that was a nice back flick. Oh, Aubameyang again. It's just not going to be his night. It was a good save, but it was a through ball into the box, and Aubameyang, I think it was it Lacazette or was it Turney? I can't tell from the number. But it's gone behind for a goal kick at the end. That would have been a great goal from Aubameyang. Nice improv that would have been. Kazia Moses says to the Arsenal fan, that's Miranda. Hello, just wanted to know what's Arsenal's identity (brackets) in terms of football style and goals this season (brackets league, trophies, competition). I'm asking because I see none of the above mentioned.
Wow, that's a lot of points in one question. Where do I start?
4 minutes left of the game.
I think maybe we haven't had a particular style this season so far. We seem to be trialing lots of different styles all the time. I mean, the Olympiacos game we played last week, he played us as a 4-3-3. Which we don't usually do. Yeah, and I've seen us play as a 4-4-2. We don't seem to be... I think we're still finding our way a little bit there.
Yeah.
Especially under Arteta. Particularly in the midfield. Because I feel like all of the players in the midfield, I don't look at any of the players in the midfield and think, you are great. I don't look at any of them and think you're awful. Maybe El Neni. He can have a questionable game.
Still
sometimes.
Don't even know what he does.
Well, he scored one goal last week against Olympiacos, and I was still at work at the time, and I just texted my mum and I said, "Are there pigs flying over our house at the moment?" His sole aim seems to be to just pass the ball back to Leno. He doesn't ever want to go forward, and
Brilliant.
You've got Ceballos, who again is all right. Xhaka's okay. Partey's okay. If he has a good game, he can be quite good, but sometimes has off days. And I think that will maybe decide our style of play when we firm up in the midfield, because defensively we've improved massively. I think anyway.
Yeah, I agree
from where
with
we were a few seasons ago. And Aubameyang, Lacazette, Saka, Smith Rowe, we've got really promising quality in that end result. I just think the midfield is that area where we need to be working harder, and I think maybe that will influence how we play and how we decide to play. I don't think we have a style at the moment. We definitely would not suit Jose's style of play. We don't work sitting back and waiting and trying to go on the rebound. That's not.
And it's boring.
We can't do that.
It can be boring to watch.
It is boring football. It wins games, but it's not exciting.
No.
That's Tottenham for you, unfortunately.
Well, they might lose their game. I'll just check the score now. I haven't seen any updates on my screen, but it's still it's literally 2 minutes into the 90th minute. So, and it's actually Orzek who scored both goals for Zagreb, but I've never heard of him, but he must be good. I think that's how bad Spurs can be. The fact that they're going to probably slip up a 2-0 lead. Well, they have, but will they actually win the game still? We'll find out in either the next few minutes. There's 3 minutes of added time here, though, so Arsenal... Well, they actually...
Surely we can't concede 2 goals in that amount of time, she says, touching every possible piece of wood to ensure safety.
That's exactly what a Bayern Munich fan said in '99 against United on the 90th minute. Surely we're not going to concede 2. Hold my pint. And they lost 2-1.
Have we had any update? I obviously don't follow it massively closely given my place. Any update on the Son injury? Because as much as I dislike Tottenham, he's a great player, and
he's so good.
That was disappointing for him.
He's so good. I actually don't know, because he walked off injured, didn't he? From what I can remember.
Yeah, he injured himself when he was sprinting for the ball. I think he pulled maybe his hamstring, looking at like the way he grabbed his thigh afterwards. But yeah, I haven't heard anything since then. I don't know. Oh God, this feels like sacrilegious. I'm going onto the Tottenham page. This is weird. I don't think I've ever been on this. He was ruled out of this game, and they think that it's doubtful he'll play against Villa. Apparently.
Oh dear, they really do miss him. But that's my problem with the Spurs team, though. They've got great players, but only for the starting 11. Like, there's no depth, is there?
If you don't have Son and Kane,
you're screwed.
I mean, Bale's been okay of late, but as much as I hate him, Lamella's okay as well, I suppose. But it just feels like you don't have a lot when you don't have that partnership, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, the Mellor's a weird one as well for me. I don't know what to think of him because he's been hit and miss for me when he's been at Tottenham, and he's been there for 5-6 years, I think, maybe even longer. I'm not sure, but the whole Bale signing is, I feel like that was just for the fans, with the hope that he'd be like he was at Real Madrid, but I don't know. He should join the PGA Tour.
Particularly, but before the Arsenal game, he almost seems to get carted out as a novelty when they're not too worried about games. You know, the EFL game they played against Stoke in December, he played that, and then they didn't play Kane or Son, I think, at the time. It's sort of like, oh, well, we've got him, let's take him out, give him a game. There's not the one to integrate him into the team. I mean, as far as the Tottenham game, at the weekend particularly, I was concerned about the link-up or the battle between him and Tierney, and if there was going to be a lot of the game was going to be based around that. But he didn't seem to offer any threat to us. It wasn't a challenge. So I don't know if that's because he doesn't train with the team or he's not integrated in the way that he maybe he feels like he's just that novelty that they bring out now and again, but he's just not on the same par with them. They're not on the same wavelength from my point of view.
I see what he did there. Same par, golf player, I was very good. I read that. But now, as I've said, Bale, go and join the PGA Tour. That might be the best for you. The one thing I think because this game's been pretty dull, because it's been pretty much decided, Barr got sent off on the 82nd minute for Olympiacos, which I completely missed.
I missed that as soon as I saw it afterwards. I was like, how have I missed that?
Seb True says, shocked that the only foul throw given, or that I've seen, wasn't by Arsenal or even Bellerin for that matter. There's a lot of foul throw-ins from Bellerin. I completely agree with you, Seb, but it never gets picked up. It's full time then. Final whistle gone, and Arsenal are heading to the quarter-finals of the Europa League. Arteta doing the usual shake of hands on the sidelines, and they were able to hold off that one goal from Olympiacos. So it's a good win for Arsenal, and revenge is complete after what happened last season when they got knocked out at the Emirates 12 months ago. Don't worry, it's done. That happened ages ago. You've beaten them now, and Socrates is playing the feel sorry for me kind of way because he's limping now, and he's talking to Aubameyang, and he's having a go at Aubameyang. I think he's saying to him, no, you did it on purpose. No, you did it on purpose. You're the one who got me out of this club. But because they had to pay more for your contract, I had to leave. But I'm sure that's not what they're saying. I'm not a great lip reader, to be honest with you. I'm terrible at that. Even if someone said beer in lip read, I'd have thought they would have said blackcurrant. I don't want blackcurrant. I want some alcohol in the system. What are we on about? So yeah, that's ended there. 1-0 to Olympiacos on the night, but 3-2 on aggregate. I mean, straight away, Miranda, tomorrow is the draw for the Europa League. Fingers crossed United are in it before they play Milan later. Is there one team at all that's on your mind already that you'd like them to play in the next round? Or would you just take it as it is?
I wouldn't like to get Roma. That scares me.
Yeah, they scare me too.
But apart from that, I'm not too fussed. Although, saying that, Mold have had quite a good form this season.
They have. I mean, the 2-0... Last time I checked, they were 2-0 down from the first leg, but I didn't actually see the... Let me have a look.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's ended now, and Granada have gone through.
Oh, they did get 2 goals, Mulder, but yeah, they got that one goal they needed. Oh, so that's a shame.
That's not something I need to worry about. Yeah, apart from Roma, I feel pretty evenly upset about the others. Roma, I probably cry.
At work tomorrow, when the draw comes out, I just don't want it. I don't want them.
Got the day booked off in readiness for this. Don't worry. I'm prepped. But and obviously I'm delighted looking at the scorelines that we are almost at the end of extra time, and Tottenham still 2-0 down, because it really frustrated me that they were allowed to play their away leg at home.
Yeah.
Before Arsenal's match.
Yeah.
That it was changed for them, but not for us, because that seemed like such a disadvantage.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
But it doesn't matter. They're out now.
Well, we'll find out, of course. But I mean, looking at the other scores, let me just find it out on the good old internet, unless the Wi-Fi cuts out. So yeah, Zagreb still 2-0 up against Spurs. Shakhtar Donetsk, they did get a goal back against Roma, but on the actual aggregate, they have lost 5-1. So the fans will be happy they didn't have a ticket for that. Unless. So the other games happening tonight: AC Milan versus Man United. United need to get a goal to actually not be losing the tie. Rangers against Prague. That's 1-1. If Rangers beat Prague, what a run they're having under Steven Gerrard. Villarreal up against Dynamo Kiev. They're 2-0 up. Villarreal on aggregate. And the Young Boys versus Ajax, but they're 3-0 down already. And I saw an Edwin van der Sar picture earlier this morning on Instagram, and he was very happy to head to Switzerland with a 3-goal lead. And he's on holiday, he is, because he doesn't feel worried whatsoever.
Yeah, he's gonna bring back a massive Toblerone for all the players that weren't allowed to go with him, I'm sure. If he's in holiday mode.
You know what's really funny as well? On his Instagram story, when he got to his hotel, he got a Toblerone on his bed from the hotel staff. So you must have seen the same picture.
I feel like I have to go and follow him now on Instagram. We've got a telepathic link. Or maybe we just speak about Toblerone a lot. But whatever it is, we have something in common.
Actually, funny enough, Seb, who is watching the stream for us, he's from Switzerland, so he's probably got a factory down the road from him. Seb, if you do tell us, is the factory down the road from you? Because I know he's near the is it Lindt? How do you say it?
No idea.
Lindt, the chocolate.
Lindt.
I should know. I don't eat chocolate. Yeah, Lindt.
You don't eat chocolate.
No, don't like chocolate. No, I do. I like Kit Kat. I've had Kit Kat before. I can't eat chocolate. Like, I can eat a bit,
this
but that's
is really affecting the way that I perceive you. You've gone massively down in my estimation.
Oh, shit. Sounds like my mum. Anyway. but no, I don't mind it, but it's like Easter eggs. People get me an Easter egg and I just go, what do I do with this? You eat it. All right. Can I just have the mug that it comes with?
But why do you not find it that, like, I find it gives me energy, or like it helps me de-stress, or...
Really?
Yeah, I am addicted to mini eggs.
Yeah, mini eggs are good. Mini eggs are good.
Are the greatest chocolate creation to have come out of this country ever.
Yeah. You should say that when you go to the Cadbury factory tour. Stand on top of the machine where it's made. This is the greatest chocolate ever from this country.
The only quarrel I have with mini eggs is obviously they are not available all year round, and that upsets me.
Yeah, funny enough, I was at Tesco last week, Mother's Day shopping. Don't worry, her presents were
last minute.
The flowers last minute thing, kind of, you know. And I've got no sense of smell either, so I'm kind of like, these look good. I'll take these.
Did they look good, or were there just several very wilted, damaged ones left by the time that you realised it was time to get some flowers?
No. In that pile, there was a good one.
Vile.
But no, I'm weird. I don't like chocolate, and I got no sense of smell. So that's my main problems in life. It could be worse. But yeah, it was the chocolate section for Easter, and this is a Tesco Extra, so you've got like big dinosaur chocolates in the shelves probably. It's that big of a shop. But I just remember seeing the mini eggs box, and it came with a mug, and it's the same mug that I've had 3 times. So and I'm just like, I don't need another one. I've got enough mugs now. I've got enough for me for the next 3 generations. So I don't need that. But yeah,
that can be your family tradition. Each man in the family passes on his mini egg mug to his son.
And then you find out it's all the same. We need to put a name on them. Whose is what? Get a pen. Funny enough, since we've been talking about chocolate and not football, there's been a few questions. Actually, no. Connor Porter says, hello, solid result for Arsenal.
Yes.
Oh, hang on. Luke's asking you, what do you think about Rangers?
Rangers? I don't really follow the Scottish leagues as much.
I don't blame you.
But, I mean, their form under Steven Gerrard has been incredible. I mean, like, what is it? The record they broke, wasn't it, last week for the point gap between first and second place. I think it's the biggest point gap there ever has been in that league. So I couldn't tell you a lot about their players. I haven't watched a lot of them playing, but their form seems incredible. Their supporters got very excited last week when they broke their record.
Just a little. It was literally the same as Liverpool and Leeds last summer.
I didn't think Steven Gerrard would make a good manager, but I have been proved wrong completely. Quite badly, in fact.
If Stevie G's watching this right now before his game kicks off in about 3 minutes, do comment. Say Miranda was wrong.
Stevie G.
I'll just call him Slippy G when you respond to him. That'll do it. Sorry, Luke. I know you're a Liverpool fan. Seb True says, Soldado being the key factor for Granada. I don't, to be honest, I didn't watch that game. Kazi Moses says, it's not a good result for Arsenal because they have lost at home. No one cares though, do they? Let's be honest. They're through. That's all that matters. I get what you're saying, Kazuya, but
it's not ideal. But it would be more ideal to lose at home than away, wouldn't it? Looking at aggregate scores. So I'd rather that it went the way that it did, with us scoring far more away, with the heavier weight that way.
Exactly.
But I understand where you're coming from.
Exactly. Seb True says Switzerland is so much more than Toblerone. No, it isn't. That and Federer.
No, they have nice mountains apparently that you can ski on. Not that I've ever been, but I'm sure they are nice.
I know they're good at tennis. I mean, you've got Roger Federer and Stan Wawrinka and Belichic, so they do all right in that front. Seb, why have you not made it in tennis? And why are you not a chocolatier? Seb True also says the factory isn't, but I live in the canton where that famous mountain is. Oh, okay. And Connor's given us a problem solver. Order mini eggs off Amazon. Problem solved. Yeah, actually, in this day and age, we could do, can't we? Actually.
No, I don't know. How long is the date on them? That would be my concern, because they probably stop production about now. Will they last until next year's mini eggs comes out? It is a very good shout there. This could be a life-changing link that I find in many ways. Life-changing for my waistline, probably.
Summer's coming up, folks.
Speaking of your Liverpool fan, did you see the terrible typo that Sky Sports made the other night?
What was that? I didn't see that.
They put on the team sheet Virgin van Dijk.
Oh dear. That's like, I mean, I think, could you imagine trying to say that in front of Virgil van Dijk? You'd be looking up and thinking, hey, how are you? About that misprint, it's that Microsoft text predict thing, it's one of those. It's not my fault. It just happened. Anyway, I think
against him.
Yeah. Seb True says chocolate lasts long, food that has often been rationed. Okay, it's become Let's Talk Chocolate, not Let's Talk Sport anymore. It's no longer Let's Talk Sport. That's it. We're done. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap up with our stream. So Arsenal through to the next round. Who will they face in that next round? The draw is tomorrow. And actually, Seb, if you're watching, if you can, do the draw reaction tomorrow live if you want with Joe. I think Joe might be doing it, even though he doesn't know that because I'm going to ask him. I would, but I'm in work, so I can't. But go ahead, lads, if you want to. Thanks to everyone that watched. the stream tonight. Do subscribe if you haven't already. We're currently at 4 subscribers, so want to get to 500 soon, hopefully. And yeah, Miranda, thanks for coming on. Did you enjoy it?
Thank you for having me. I very much enjoyed it. And sorry if everyone hates my opinions about the Arsenal team and you think I'm really badly wrong. Please tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'd be interested to hear why you think I'm wrong.
I love it how you sound like the president. Like I've said mistakes. I apologise to the nation.
I feel like a president who's acted really awfully in a natural disaster, and they've gone, "Well, I've done my best though. So could I have done more than that?"
Sounds like Trump.
Not.
Sounds like Trump. He's gone now. That's the main thing. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. See you later, folks. And of course, do join us for our next watch along and subscribe to Let's Talk Sport. See you later.